All right then. Thank you, Adam. Good to see everybody here tonight. That's about what that deserves. That's okay. A little about myself for those of you who haven't seen me on stage before. I do not have any kids in my crawl space. I'm just saying, apparently that's the vibe I give off, and I'm not too fond of it. She's enjoying the show way too much, I'm just saying. I mean, I don't even like the word creepy. I prefer to think of myself as a people-watching enthusiast. I mean, for some people, the camera adds 10 pounds. Apparently, for me, it adds a trench coat, a rifle, and an ice cream truck. I mean, someone even compared me to Jeffrey Dahmer one time, which I think is wrong. Totally different eating habits. I mean, I liked all the usual junk foods, pizza, burgers, tacos, that sort of thing. Jeffrey Dahmer was more of a people person. So, I try to get out and meet people. I went out to a nightclub not too long ago to try to socialize. Everyone there is having a good time. I was trying to beat the high score on the Pac-Man machine. That's a joke, by the way. Of course I beat the high score. But while I was there, I did get to talking to a woman. She was a raver chick. She had this big colorful wig and these huge furry boots. And at the time, I didn't really get the appeal of that. I mean, I know what works for me. I have done a lot of internet research on that topic. All I'm saying is Slutty Muppet did not work for me that night. Given the opportunity, I am not so sure I would go down in Fraggle Rock. But I'm off the market these days. That's right, recall due to low demand. That's where I'm at. You ever sign up for a matchmaking website, ask it to send you to your ideal matches, and it just sends you to the website that sells blow-up dolls? That's not right. A little more about me. I'm from a little town across the river, Belleville, Illinois. That's a little more than that deserves, to be perfectly honest with you. Belleville has a nickname. Do you know what it is? Bell Vegas. Does that make any sense at all? No. Belleville and Las Vegas have pretty much nothing in common, except that if you spend enough time in either place, you end up broke and depressed. What happens in Bell Vegas stays in Bell Vegas because it can't afford to go anywhere else. A lot of crazy stuff going on out there. I was watching the news the other day, and there was a story about a kidnapping, which I didn't do, by the way. But the news crawler caught my eye because it said the kidnapper had a crush on the teenage girl he abducted. And all I could think was, yeah, that's how kidnapping works. No one becomes a kidnapper by being willing to settle. No kidnapper's thought process has ever involved the phrase, "you'll do." I'll tell you about the craziest news story I ever saw. It was a story about a restaurant over in Russia that had as their main attraction a live bear in a cage. Nothing could go wrong there, right? Sure enough, a woman decided to try to reach into the cage to try to pet the bear, and the bear ripped her arm off. That is a terrible story. But when I thought about it, I realized that in Russia, bears have the right to your arms. Yeah, can you imagine if that would have happened here in the United States? That woman probably would have filed a lawsuit against the restaurant. I think that would have been a pretty quick case, though. Your Honor, the defense calls Charles Darwin to the stand. I think we could improve this woman's level of intelligence single-handedly. A little more about me, I'm sure you can tell just by looking at me, but I'm a huge fan of professional wrestling. A couple other people in the room willing to own up to that. Cool. Admitting you watch a lot of wrestling, that's not really something you bring up in your first conversation with someone. I'm just saying it's not something you put in your Tinder profile. Admitting you watch a lot of wrestling has the same sort of stigma as admitting you watch a lot of porn. Because either way, someone is going to look at what you're watching and they're going to say, come on, no one gets that big naturally. But no one has ever had to sit a porn enthusiast down to tell them, you know they don't really love each other, right? Glad the weather's gotten at least a little bit better lately. I mean, it's a little rainy today, but it's not as cold as it was. You know what they say about weather here in the Midwest, though? You don't like it, just wait a couple minutes. Yeah, wait a couple minutes and someone will probably jack your car and then you won't be thinking about the weather anymore. That's how we roll in the Midwest, in someone else's car. Things are going all right for me. I have a pretty good office job, and this time last year, things were a little bit different because at this time last year, I was a 39-year-old part-time pizza delivery driver. Your life's not going in the right direction if that happens, I'm sorry to say. I mean, I learned quite a few interesting things about that job. First off, pizza delivery, nowhere near as exciting as the adult film industry led me to believe. Not enough people ordering the big sausage, all I'm saying. You learn that people try to pay for their orders with large denominations of money. Like one time a guy tried to pay for his order with a $100 bill. I'm like, first off, I don't have that kind of change on me. Second off, dude, you live in a trailer. You could probably stand to budget yourself just a little bit better. Like maybe put that money toward a house that doesn't have an emergency brake. Made a lot of deliveries to the trailer park back in those days. A lot of speed bumps in the road that went through the trailer park, which I didn't understand because if you live in a trailer park, you're not in a hurry to get home. That was an interesting job in a lot of different respects. I remember one time when I was out on a delivery, though, that I saw a Jeep that had slid off the road and was stuck in a ditch by the side of the road. It was something where no one was hurt, thankfully. I thought about pulling over to check on them to see if they needed any help, but then I just figured it was a Jeep thing I would not understand. Living on the east side in Illinois, I'll admit to having frequented the strip clubs every once in a while, but that doesn't always go so well. I think the town slogan of Washington Park should be "Paint chips, the other white meat." I didn't realize how bad the economy was until one time a stripper told me that she had a second job. And that would make for an awkward situation. Seeing the gal that once gave you a lap dance working the cash register at the grocery store. I know how awkward I am. I would slip up and say the wrong thing. She would ask paper or plastic, and I would say clearly plastic. I remember this past summer, I was driving home from work and I saw a fireworks stand in the parking lot of a strip club, which is an interesting combination of businesses. But when I thought about it, they have a few things in common. Whichever one you go to, you're going to spend too much money. You could end up with a burning sensation. And if you mishandle the merchandise, you might end up losing a finger. There's a lot I don't understand in life. Holidays are a thing I don't really understand too well. I mean, it's always good to see the family over the holidays. I just saw my family over for Easter dinner. But there's always the one family member at every gathering who, instead of being happy and thankful for what they have, spend the whole time griping and complaining about the stuff they don't have. And in recent years, there's always been the one family member griping about the stuff he doesn't have at the dinner table. Butter, salt, a white president, all the usual stuff. He finally got his wish. There are times when I probably think about the holiday stuff a little bit too much. I remember a time when I was talking on stage about Veterans Day and Memorial Day, two holidays meant to honor our military, which is a cool thing. And I wondered if they should consolidate the two into a single holiday. And that time I thought it would be funny to say on stage that the only difference between Memorial Day and Veterans Day was dodging a bullet. And I hear your reaction. But that still went over better tonight than it did that night at the VFW Hall. Let's just say I learned about dodging bullets in a hurry that night. Those things are fast. Speaking of holidays, my least favorite holiday in the world, I would say Valentine's Day. So I just refer to it by its initials, VD. Because both kinds of VD are red, irritating, and expensive. But at least Valentine's Day is one type of VD that goes away if you just ignore it for 24 hours. Still a lot of crazy stuff going on in the news. It seems like all the time I hear about some new shooting or whatever. Like a week or so ago, there was a shooting at the YouTube headquarters. I heard it would have been a lot worse, but the shooter had to keep stopping for those 10-second ads. Alrighty then. This comedy thing has been a fun thing. Because of my general demeanor, I get some unique introductions from the MCs. One time a friend of mine thought it would be funny to introduce me by saying, "You'll be able to see this next guy this upcoming week looking through your windows." Which I said was stupid, you wouldn't see me. That was only topped by the time a guy decided it would be funny to introduce me by saying, "This next guy will rape you." That is a 100% true story. And I did not know how to follow that up. How not to follow that up was to try to argue the point. I went up on stage and was like, "Dude, do I look like I would know what to do with a woman if I caught one?" I'm still figuring out the Nintendo Wii, let alone what to do with my own joystick. And I'm not in the best of shape nowadays. You could probably outrun me. That's all I'm saying. I'm just saying a more accurate introduction would be this next guy, given some diet, exercise, and ADD medication, plus internet research, may request a romantic encounter with you somewhere down the line. All I'm saying. Been doing this comedy thing for a little while now. It's been a lot of fun. I don't have any t-shirts or CDs for sale after the show, but my mom is really big into gardening, so I'm trying to unload some zucchini afterwards if anyone's interested. All right, that is going to do it for me. I'm Patrick. Thank you very much, everybody. Have a good night.